We have with us Dr. Shatavadhani Ganesh, who is a practitioner in the art of Avadhana. So, he will be delivering the keynote address.
Thank you. Om Tat Sat. Namaste Sadsaspatiyecha. Can all of you understand Kannada? If not, I can speak to you in English. Okay. I think I have to speak to you in English. Well, I'm very happy to speak a few words on the great tradition of Ramayana. I don't know in what way the discussions and all will go on, because it's very unfortunate on my part. I have to leave this August gathering by 5:30 sharp. So within the available 10 minutes, I have to sum up some pointers regarding the tradition of Ramayana. Ramasya ayanam Ramayanam, so it is said, the way of Rama. And this is so unique an epic, Param Kavinam Adharam, so it is said in the beginning of Ramayana itself. It became a great guiding light to all the poets and artists. And in no part of the world we have any such epic, apart from Mahabharata, of course, belong to the same Vedic tradition of Sanatana Dharma. No other epic of the world has so much of lasting impact on mankind as such. When I had gone to Greece, I was desperate to know about the Homeric traditions, but to my dismay, I couldn't find anything as such. Only in the gloomy, dull, dim corners of the universities, academic bodies, only few grey-headed people, they'll be discussing the age-old things, and it will be very uninspiring as such. But you just open any newspaper belong to any city of India, any town of India, in the city or town engagement columns, you'll be seeing one or two lectures on Ramayana, one or two song performances, music concerts, where invariably the theme of Ramayana will be the bread and butter, and even the dance functions as such. You visit any temple, any art center, any museum for that matter, you'll be seeing some or the other images or paintings connected with Ramayana. For that matter, in the whole tradition of world architecture and sculpture, you don't find thematic reliefs of Ubbushilpantarala, that is reliefs of Homeric epics or Virgilian epics or Miltonic epics. I have moved in almost all the museums and all the art sites of Europe. Nowhere I have found, even in America I have seen, nowhere I have found any relief depicting in detail the story of Homer's epic, whether it is Odyssey or whether it is Ilium, that is Iliad's Greek name, and Aeneas or the epic of Virgil, or even the Divine Comedy, La Divina Commedia of Dante Alighieri. No such instances are found. Only in India we have a sustained tradition, not just literary. It is cultural tradition, artistic tradition, religious tradition, and so many traditions have a wonderful confluence. That's why one Tyagaraja could become a great composer apart from his quality of music. Because of the devotion to Rama, he devoted, available almost some 700 compositions or so. But in the tradition it is said totally 24,000 songs he composed, equated to 24,000 verses of Ramayana. Whether it is reality or not, but this much is true. But for Rama, Tyagaraja could not have given a raga like Nadachintamani, a raga like Jingla, a raga like Phalamanjari, a raga like Garudadhvani, such things. And defining some of the salient ragas like Todi or Harikamboji, Kalyani or Athana, Madhyamavati, and so many such ragas, numerous compositions were produced by Tyagaraja because of his devotion to Rama. And again we see the tradition of Ramayana. Again in the dance also we have like that. Gopal Krishna Bharatis, whether it is the Ramanatakas or whether it is the Ramanattam of Kerala, which is known as Kathakali in recent times, or it is Parthisubba's Yakshagana compositions of coastal Karnataka, or many Ramayana compositions belonging to Chindu Yakshagana, Mala Yakshagana, Turpu Yakshagana, Bhagavata Mela, and Ramalila, the whole tradition of Ramalila in North, or Pandavani in Madhya Pradesh, or Bhavai, Nautanki, Chau, Purlia Chau, Mayurbhan Chau, Sarakellam Chau, so many and so on and so forth. Like that, even in the theatrical tradition we have. Coming to the literary tradition, every language has produced many Ramayanas. As we know from the famed and gifted poet, Kannada's gifted poet, ಕುಮಾರವ್ಯಾಸ ತಿಣುಕಿದನು ಪಣಿರಾಯ ರಾಮಾಯಣದ ಕವಿಗಳ ಭಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಂತಿಣಿಯ ರಘುವರ ಚರಿತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲಿಡಲು ತೆರಪಿಲ್ಲ. So profuse is the Ramayana tradition, not one Ramayana, so many Ramayanas. And the great Jnanpith award winner, Vishwanath Satyanarayana of Andhra Pradesh, he says, Vrasina Ramakatha Vrasina Vadani Pinchukummu. His father said, if you want to become a poet, write nothing but Ramayana. By writing something on Tom, Dick and Harry, you will not be getting any laurels, any contentment and any satisfaction for your spirit. It's only by writing Ramayana you will become a great poet. And he says, already so many people have written Ramayana. Kalidasa, Bhasa, and then Bhaubhuti, Rajshekara, Bhartramenta, and many in Sanskrit, and so many in other regional languages. So many people in Prakrit, whether it is Pravarasena who wrote Setubandha, or whether it is Vimalasuri who wrote Paumacharivu. There are many people. But I have to write Ramayana to quench my thirst of Rama. If not, who will be drinking water? Who will be feeding with food for my part? I have to do that. So by thinking in that sense, in thinking in that lines, Vishwanath Satyanarayana wrote Ramayana Kalpruksham, a product of 25 years. And so is true in Kannada's case. Kuvempu, he says in his Ramayana Darshanam, Ramavatarakam Migalaise Ramayana Avataram. Rama had one time birth. No more editions of Rama. But Ramayana is produced day in and day out. Again and again, the tradition of Ramayana is perpetuated. It's happening so. In the Kannada tradition itself, if you see the last Bhuvanaika Ramabhyudaya of Ponna, whether it is the available, recently published Moili's Ramayana Mahanveshanam, whatever, from that Bhuvanaika Ramabhyudaya to Raman Veshanam, there are so many epic poems, so many compositions in the play form or in the novel form or in the song form and many such forms. Not to say regarding the Tamil tradition, starting from Kamban, and even in the Malayalam also, Edutachan wrote, and in Marathi, there are so many Ramayanas produced by one single poet, Moropanta. Niroshta Ramayana, Ardya Ramayana, Nirdanta Ramayana, like that, so many Ramayanas are produced by Moropanta. And Sarladasa's Ramayana in Odisha. And many people produced one work in Telugu. Bhaskara and others produced, a team of scholars, poets produced Ramayana. And we have some Ramayana like Pandari Ramayana or Ranganath Ramayana of Gonabuddha Reddy, like that in Telugu. And the influence and impact of a great order seen in Tulsidas Ramayana, based mostly on Adhyatma Ramayana, a part of Markandeya Purana, Brahmanda Purana. In that Tulsidas Ramayana's speciality is, even great Sanskrit scholars, when they want to have a Parayana of Ramayana, they go to Tulsidas Ramayana and not to Valmiki Ramayana. That is the respect that they have to pay to Tulsidas. Ananda Kanane Kashyam Tulsi Jangamastarho. So it was praised by the great saint, poet, scholar and dialectician of 15th century AD, that is Madhusudana Saraswati. Like that, in Hindi, we have a lasting impact of Ramayana. Whether it is Maithili Sharanagupta, who viewed Ramayana from the perspective of Urmila, or it is Narendra Kohli, who wanted to see Ramayana in the realist plane and wrote a series of novels in Hindi. Or you go to Gujarati, you see Dalpatram Dahyabai, he wrote so many poems on Ramayana. And Nana Lal, he produced many poems on Ramayana in Gujarati. Like that, in every language we have such things. Whether it is in Bengali, Kritivas writing Ramayana, or whether it is the Sanskrit tradition of Ramayanas, very many are there. Recently, one of my Sanskrit scholar friends of Madhya Pradesh, by name Bhaskaracharya Tripathi, wrote a poem called Laghuragu, where without using a Gurvakshara, Dirghakshara or Sanyuktakshara, what we say Vattakshara, Dirghakshara, without using that, the story of complete Ramayana is written in Laghvaksharas. There is a poem by name Kankanabandha Ramayana. It's only one verse, having 32 letters. If you read first 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, you'll be getting totally 32 verses. If you read in the reverse order, 32 more verses, totally 64 verses are produced, and that will narrate the story of Ramayana. If you go to Tamil Nadu, in 17th century, there was a great poet by name Venkatadhari. He wrote Raghava Yadaviyam. If you read the poem from right to left, you get the meaning of Ramayana. From left to right, you get the meaning of Mahabharata. Like that, so many Chitra Kavitas are produced. If you go to Mysore, in 19th and 20th century, there were two scholarly poets by name Chamarajanagar Ramashastri and Sita Ramashastri. They wrote Sita Raman Samvad Jari. In that, 3 lines will be Ravana trying to woo Sita, whether he will be praising himself or ridiculing Rama. The 4th line will be a reply from Sita, and the reply will be in such a way that if a suggestion is taken from the reply, all the 3 lines which used to boast the claims of Ravana will become blemishes, and what he wanted to ridicule Rama will become glorious tributes to Rama. In that way, wonderful linguistic skills have been shown in Ramayana. Like that, every day, day in and day out, we see many experiments being done on Ramayana. So many people dance, so many people sing, so many people paint. And we know, many people have painted so many times, so many themes on Ramayana. In Ajanta, in Yellora, we have wonderful carvings connected with the stories of Ramayana. Not to speak of Belur and Halaibidu, or whether it is in Pattadkal. You just go to Amritapura, near Tarikere, on the way of Shivamogga. There is a wonderful temple by name Amriteshwara Temple. There, in the whole sculpture world, maximum number of Ramayana panels are preserved. More than 50 panels of Ramayana are preserved there. Like that, many people have responded artistically in their own way to the tradition of Ramayana. Why it became so popular? Because reality is something, ideality is something else. Sublimation of reality is ideality, and what we are is reality, and what we ought to be is ideality. As the great chief editor of the critical edition of Mahabharata, Vishnu Sitarama Suttankar says, great work of art has two-folded job. One, it has to transport us to some other world, and two, the other world should be better than ours. In this acid test, Ramayana will be coming out with flying colors. Just imagine, Rama wanted to become the coronated prince. Not he wanted, but Dasharatha wanted. He was destined to become the prince of Ayodhya, crown prince of Ayodhya, and the emperor of Kosala later. But he was directed to go to forest on that very day itself. This dramatic turn is so important, and Rama calmly agreed. As Kalidasa says in his Raghuvamsha, Dadato Mangalaksho me Vasanasya cha Valkale Dadashur Vismita Astasya Mukharagam Samam Janaha. Whether he was having the Pitampara or Chirambara, whether he was clad in royal silk robes, or when he was asked to use the dress of barks, his face luster and the charm and the dignity and the composure was not lost. He was perfectly normal and composed. This is what we see from Ramayana. This reality transcending to the level of ideality is something remarkable, and in this way, this ideality that comes to picture. And even smallest things, insignificant things, they become so important in Ramayana. When Rama leaves for the forest and he goes to Guha, late evening he would have come to Shringaverapura near the Tirtharaja Prayaga of today's India. Then Guha requests Rama to have food. Then Rama says, we are kings, princes, we belong to the royal dynasty of solar origin. We should not ask for food from anybody. We should offer in turn. One thing you do, the chariot was pulled by the 4 horses. They are hungry, they are thirsty. You feed them, that's enough. Rama, he had lost by that time 4 or 5 years over when he lost his empire. In that disturbance, he could have easily forgotten the hunger and thirst of the animals, but he would never. He just wanted to quench the hunger and thirst of these animals, and he would do. Such an equanimity nowhere we find in the world, and that is Rama. And even the way, the dignity and decorum with which people approach Sita, having become the most lovable person in the life of Rama, and the embodiment of affection, fidelity, love, and regards towards Rama, she, with all liberty, she never misuses that. In one discussion, she says, Snehacha Bahumanacha Smaraye Natushikshaye. Because of immense love and friendship towards you, I am just reminding you these things. I will never dare to teach you such. And even Rama reciprocates in the similar way with lot of dignity, love, affection, and respect. This you can never see in any other work of art. And Valmiki became role model in so many things. An epic poem should contain the description of seasons. In the Ramayana, we have 4 seasons being described. It is the spring, winter, rainy season, and autumn. All the 4 main seasons are described. Like that, there are so many such things where Valmiki becomes a pioneer. Just to describe Sita in Ashokavana, he uses more than 32 similes. Krichragata Sitopama, that itself is the Sarga. That itself is the name of the chapter. Like that, there are so many wonderful aspects of Ramayana, not even several lives of many scholars are sufficient to exhaust. I am very much happy to say that this discussion may trigger many more such interesting sparks so that the Ramayana tradition is perpetuated for the betterment of the world. Thank you.